Hey everyone, welcome back to 10th century China. Today we're just doing a little exploring and what the hell? Is that bear doing Tai Chi? Kinda thought that just like happened in the movies and stuff, but alright. So I've seen a couple videos and ads about this newer game, Where the Winds Meet, and the main thing that caught my attention is that it's free. And also it has like breathtaking visuals and compelling combat and lots of customization and like a beautiful open world or something like that, but the free part's really the important part. But the other thing about this game is that it is super duper massive, and I'm kind of overwhelmed by that. So I'm just going to go through the first hour, and I'm inviting you to come along with me and we can check it out together, see if it's worth putting a lot of time into. So come with me on this journey through 10th century China as we find out where the winds meet. Or something. I don't think the game is probably actually about that. That's just like the title, but here we go. My main goal for this game was to go in completely blind, besides the TikTok I saw of a dude flying across the map and like destroying reality with a bow staff. I've been playing a lot of Ghosts of Yotei recently, so my first impression was that this would be similar, an action-adventure set in 10th century China. I was really excited to begin learning about this time in history I really knew not much about. And are those monkeys shooting flaming arrows at me? So I pretty quickly surmised that this game maybe wasn't going to be historically accurate. However, it was already sick as hell as I rode through a field of flaming flowers towards a colossal statue. Right off the bat, this game is beautiful. The lighting, the environments, the characters, everything was awe-inspiring. Even more so considering that this game is actually an MMO, and drastically even more so after I learned it was built to accommodate both PC and consoles, and also mobile devices. Finally, at about 5 minutes in, I got my hands on the combat. When I whipped out a massive bell and blasted a guy with it, I knew this game was going to be something special. The combat was fairly simple and similar to other games I've played, but even the tutorial I could tell just how deep and complex it was going to get as the game unfolds. Special abilities, weapon types, eventually a huge skill tree. This is the kind of game you can put thousands of hours into and not even see all of it. As I defeated this Elden Ring feeling boss, I saw a ton of story stuff that left me frankly overwhelmed. Playing it in Chinese was maybe also not helping me, but I wanted to fully immerse myself in this world while I was there. But I had a hard enough time keeping up with Kingdom Hearts, so seeing a new white-haired mysterious man kinda got me scared. Luckily the game didn't give me too much time to get overwhelmed, as I finally got to my favorite part of games like this, the character creator. I was met by serene music and a really in-depth looking character creator, until I found a feature that truly shook me to my core. You can record yourself speaking and it'll automatically create a character based on your voice. I knew immediately I had to do this, and I had to stay true to whatever character it made from me. The yellow river flows far away among the white clouds, and there is an isolated city on the towering mountains. What? Okay, so at first I was kind of caught off guard. They made this guy from my voice. He seemed so sad and melancholic, and I guess maybe this was me. The more I looked at him, the more I realized he was also kind of hot as hell, despite looking kind of sad. And also I guess someone already had my name, so I became Space-Squid, and set out to find my destiny. Finally being able to run around, I began to have mixed feelings about some parts of the game. I'm really not much of an MMO guy, so seeing the sheer volume this game had kind of had me feeling overwhelmed. There was so much text and pop-ups, the UI felt overbearing, but the beauty of the game held me, and I also loved the movement. Being able to jump several times and dash had me feeling like Starkiller again from Force Unleashed, so I was excited to see more. I talked to some people, cut some bamboo down, learned to shoot, and was still continuing to be awe-inspired by the scale and beauty of this world. for any game, let alone a free-to-play MMO, to look like this is something truly special. I saw a bear in the distance and had flashbacks of being jumped over and over in Ghost of Yotei. I shot an arrow on sight, but it phased through. This bear was in fact something special. I looked closer and realized that the bear would break into Tai Chi, and also I was able to learn from it. I guess bears doing martial arts is a bigger thing in China than I realized. I continued following the main quest, leading me to a temple where I was supposed to engage in a duel. However, this starting area fight was, for some reason, kicking my ass. For some reason, my deflections weren't seemingly enough, and it made me kinda sad. So I decided exploring the area a bit to learn what I was doing wrong was the right move. I talked to a guy and decided to break through the ground and ended up finding a mini dungeon of sorts. The perfect way to study the blade and beat that guy up top. I really quickly realized that I was just pressing the wrong button. I was trying to parry like in the Ghost games by simply pressing the block button right before the attack, forgetting that I had just learned in the tutorial that the parry was a different button. Armed with this knowledge, I made quick and flashy work of the enemies. I think one of this game's biggest strengths definitely is its style, which I'll talk a bit more about later. Utilizing my new flaming arrows and some classic big red barrels, I flew through the dungeon into the final boss, who I basically kinda stun-locked to death. Emerging from the darkness, I challenged the guy again, and this time I kicked his butt. A weird bug thing appeared out of him, reminding me of the actual story going on that I was still kind of too afraid to try to comprehend. I went to get my reward, only to discover ludicrous prices from the guy. I do actually love when games use in-game mechanics such as a shop as parts of the story, where his prices being absurdly expensive was actually part of his character.
开封的屋子，普通百姓出个破烂当彩头，趁机倒卖还骗小孩。什么骗小孩？
With my hour just about up, I went for a walk, just basking in the beauty of the game. As far as the first hour goes, I think this game's biggest strength is definitely its style. The cutscenes, the world, the combat, even the movement, all of it serves to make this game feel cinematic and awe-inspiring. And to think that, again, it's actually an MMO and even a mobile game is truly incredible. I mentioned this before, but huge sprawling MMOs aren't really my thing, but this game has such a unique flair to it that I do think I'll be spending more time in 10th century China. What do you guys think? Have you played before? Am I offending like a ton of people who really love this game by being really bad at it? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm also still striving to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're in the 600s now, which is pretty inspiring. So I really just appreciate all you guys' support. And if you feel like leaving a subscribe or something, it would mean the world to me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!